Resolution 1325 came out of the women's movement. What it stands for is ensuring that women can participate in decision making around peace, protecting women in situations of war, having attention for their vulnerabilities, and also prosecution of war crimes against women, ensuring that there's no impunity. During Beijing in 1995, women really stated that women have a role to play in conflict resolution, and women are also affected by conflict and war in specific ways. Women in the field have informed us that the empowerment benefited them greatly, but they still felt that there was lack of male support or lack of traditional male structures really changing. I think this is where we come full circle. This is where we start with women raising their voices, saying we're part of this world and please, your peace building will be more successful if you involve the other half.
They are the ones who started the movement for gender justice. So if men have to come in, if anything, their first port of call is to learn from the women who have been in this movement for quite some time.
The paradigms, the models of being a man are so often resting on images of being a soldier, of being the one who is willing to kill in the service of protection, and the one who is willing to die in the service of our country.
If you train men, if you involve a lot more men in this kind of work, will have a much greater impact. And men can still help to reduce violence. Even though we are always seen as the perpetrators of violence, we can change that, and we can let men see that really you can be part of the movement to end violence in the world today.
A connection. The joy of it for men is that they don't have to be the traditional kind of man all the time. They also can be, they can have their hearts open to other emotions, other ways of being, other creative, spontaneous ways, other forms of leadership. So it's very much releasing men from the bondage of these horrific, violent roles that are just automatically given to men, and men don't have an opportunity to have a choice. They're not just one role in their life. They are a man, a spiritual man, an actively nonviolent man, a student, a teacher, a religious leader, a brother, a son, a father, a friend, a lover. So I've been looking at this full role repertoire so that they can begin to have choices. We started with some action exercises where they looked at their feelings and what it is to be a gender-sensitive, active, nonviolent man.
Men and violence, military, men and violence, men and violence, hatred, men and violence, dominant.
Is it branding and finalizing on that? Brand, right? So along with
a man was described in terms of how much he was domineering, which meant that some men were even more manly than others.
And you know the young boys, once you give them that authority, they are going to misbehave. They might even rape the women.
The nice thing about psychodrama is it relies very much on role theory as a way of looking at personality and development, and these men are really developing new roles for themselves.
Now that I have been trained, I'm going to train other people who will understand the issues the way I understand them, who will work with me and support me as allies, and together we'll then see how we can expand the network and work with more men.
I learned from this training on giving space for women and listening to them and don't speak in behalf of the women.
The tool of cross-gender dialogue allows women to speak and lets the men sit down and listen, which is a very difficult thing for men to do in my cultural context.
Women go through a lot in terms of violence, and it has become a norm to the extent that none of us sees that as a problem. We see it as something normal. And so when my eyes, because sometimes it needs somebody to open your eyes for you to see things differently. And that's actually what happened to me, that I saw things differently. I looked back and saw these women really suffering from the brunt of war in their homes, in their communities, because of religious structures, because of traditional ways of doing things.
We are socialized in a way that promotes violence. It's very important for me because I now have an attitude of questioning anything. So anything that I'm told, I have to know why and what for and who does it benefit. So that's helping me to be very critical in my analysis, in looking at tradition, in looking at religion, in looking at society at large.
Going from matriarchy to gender equality, it's something like personal. It's like transformation. Yeah. You transform yourself.
Yeah. Go on. Just shoot ideas. Shoot them. Like just put them out. Pedagogy, to a degree, is based on programming and peace building, where you look at the problem, you look at the actors, you look at who you are.
The next level is education of the one who is causing the injustice, and then making them see how they are also losing out. And this is where we're going full circle now.
We have to deconstruct those images, and we have to understand that they have been used in the service of maintaining systems of structural and institutional and international violence that we are being sacrificed for. We as human beings are being sacrificed. And so when we can understand that, we can start to find our true power, which is to stand separate from those things, and that we can start to be agents of change.
These 19 men who have come together from different parts of the world, and thanks to WPP for the vision to realize that you can continue training women in this area, but women will always go against the wall because men in traditional societies are always the powerful people, are always the one who are recognized in this. So, in a way, WPP, in bringing men together for the first time, and from 17 countries in the world, is actually creating a new model.
Men's relationship to violence.
We believe we have now a strong community of men out there who already have worked with women and who can really demonstrate how men can be allies to women in their peace work.
It's going to be very tough because men benefit through violence, men benefit from the positions, the power, the resources they enjoy in the communities. But I believe it is possible. We can always change people.